Hey everybody, God's Child in NC, bringing you back for the second video with my haversack. As you saw in my haversack prototype, I made my haversack. Today I'm going to show you how to wax it. Basically, waxing it will turn it into a waxed canvas or waxed cotton duck in this particular case. And I'm going to show you a cheap and easy way to do it. As you see here, I've got my haversack, got a pan, some Reynolds wrap, and I just got me some cheap candles from Walmart. Took the label off the bottom. You can see it's got a little bit of a holder there for the wick. All you do is you grab hold of that, pull your wick out, you've got the candle. What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to take some of the aluminum foil, pull it out, cover this pan with it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up the candle on the stove. I'll put one end of this pan on the burner, the other end I'm just going to kind of hang out on the stove. As it melts, as the wax melts from the candle, I'm going to take a cheap paintbrush that I had bought, and I'm going to use that to apply the paint, or I'm going to use that to apply the wax that I've melted off of the candles. What I'm going to do there is I'm just going to dip it in it and brush it on just as if it were wax. I'm going to show you some of this in a demonstration. I'll show you a little bit of it. I'll show you what I'm doing. And later on, I'll show what I'm going to do. Once it's all waxed, I'm going to take just an ordinary hairdryer. Going to put it on high, run it for a bit, and I'll hold this, and as I heat it up, it opens the pores on the material. It absorbs the wax in, and what extra wax there is going to run down the duck and back into my pan. Let me get this set up. As you see, you saw what I did for the setup so far. All I did was take that piece and fill it in here. And the main reason for that is just it makes cleanup a whole lot easier. I don't have to worry about trying to get all the wax back off of the pan. I'll just fold everything up and ditch it for when I'm done. So what I'll do is I'll just take that, set it aside, remove this over here. Up here in the corner, I've got one single little burner that I'm going to turn on. Just going to try low heat for right now. Whoops, turned on the wrong one. Try a little bit of low heat. See about getting a little bit of wax melted here. See how we do. Alright, I'll get right back to you after we've got a little bit going here, and I'll show you what I'm doing with the waterproofing this. Alright guys. What I'm doing is I'm melting a little bit of the wax on the stove. Just taking it. I'm working into the seams. Get things in here real good. Can open it up a little bit. As you can see, all I'm doing is just painting it on here. Nothing real special. real technique to it. Just slopping it on. Really paying attention. Trying to pay pretty good attention to the seams. And as you're doing this, just keep in mind the fact that you are working with hot wax. Wax is melted. It's hot enough that it's melted. So just remember, I mean, just be careful. Don't want to burn yourself. Alright guys, I'm just going to do a little bit more work. I'm going to do this up. I'll bring you back every now and then and show you what I'm... Alright guys, I've got the whole back of this done up into the top. It's really stiff, a lot of wax in it, not as much down here, but you can see the wax that's on it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to heat it up to open the pores in the material and to let the excess wax melt down. It's probably going to be a bit loud, but I'm just going to show you. Alright, as you can see, heated it up, makes it more consistent as it goes across. Apparently my toggle's not holding real well. But anyways, it's making it more consistent as it comes across. It's smoothed up quite a bit. I'm sure as I heat it up and run it down like that more, it'll soak in even better. As this comes across and I heat it up more, I'm sure it'll soak in even more And because of the fact that it's taking all the excess and actually getting it into the material, like all this white here, it's actually heating that up and opening the material and soaking in. It'll be a better water resistancy once it's in the material, and it'll have a greater flexibility. You can do the same thing using a heat gun. I don't have one. We can't find my wife's embossing gun. So I thought I'd give it a try using a hairdryer. I paid special attention to the stitching I did for my back pocket. Just you'd have a greater tendency of water to get in those spots. Alright guys, I know that's about as exciting as watching paint dry, but it's wax drying instead. Anyways, I'll bring you back in a little bit once it gets done. Alright guys, I covered it all. As you can see, it looks kind of splotchy. It's a little heavier in some spots than others. I waxed both sides of the lid. All I'm using for wax, I bought some candles, 50-cent votive candles at Walmart, took the wick out of them, I'm melting them down. But let me show you a little bit of what I'm doing here. Just heat it up some more and hopefully you'll be able to see the change. Alright guys, hopefully you can see that as it was changing. I'll melt it down a little bit more, finish it up a little more, show you a little bit more. I'm pretty well done with it. I've got it all waxed out. I've got several layers on it. I may add a little bit more. I don't know. Probably not. As you can see, a little bit of color changes, a little bit of, it's not a perfect color. I don't have perfect coverage on it. I'm not worried about perfect coverage on it. We'll let it cool off, see how stiff it is when it's done. Got the whole bottom done up. And the back. As you notice, back's got a little bit of different colors to it. A little bit thinner in through here. Ain't no big deal. Still have 3/4 of one candle left. This took me two and a quarter of those candles. I'll do a little bit more, get it up in here. Well, I might do a little bit more, get it up in there. I might do a little bit in here just to get that seam a little tighter. You notice I keep harping on seams. The reason I keep harping on seams is the fact that the seams are where the water's going to get in. As you sew it, you're creating small holes in the material as the needle goes through the hole. Yes, you're putting a piece of thread in that hole, but there's still small holes there. That's why I keep going over top of the seams and so forth to get those seams sealed up real good. Alright guys, so there you are. I showed you what I made for my haversack, how I made my haversack, and now I've showed you how I waxed my haversack. Until next time, God bless you. May the sun always shine on your back.